What is happening, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate. I am your host, El Capitan, and you know what, guys? I was hoping to come on here, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, maybe not me, get to talk about padded practice and all the stuff, colors there, boots on the ground, a couple of videos, getting notes. We're going to have all kinds of good stuff from color, but no, it's too much to ask as a Dolphin fan to just enjoy camp for what camp is. Good stuff coming out. We're going to get into some of it, but no, we have to come in and break in for a full-on early show breaking news.
This is a TFTG breaking news report.
I'm going to slide my man Ali up here. This is not good, guys. We're getting slammed by the NFL. And, I mean, it's just more of the same with this team, with this crap, bro. Why is it? Why? Why us? Why? Why does this continue to happen to us? I'm going to bring Ali up here. Ali, what's up, man?
Man, I'm going to tell you right now, the NFL hates Miami.
It hates us, bro.
They have an agenda against the Dolphins, bro.
They do. I feel victimized here, and I feel
it's
like
not...
it's thought out. I feel like this is converged onto nonsense. And
some of it I understand, but some of it I still question on why are we getting even hit for. You want me to go over this document?
Yeah, let's go ahead and just get right into it, and we'll break it down because I want to know the details of the document first. So go ahead.
All right, so I'll read the beginning paragraph to you. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell today notified the Miami Dolphins of discipline imposed by violations of NFL policies relating to the integrity of the game. That's immediately the first sentence. Today, announcement follows a 6-month investigation covering events from 2019 to 2022, even into this year. That was led by.
I mean, look, a 6-month investigation. Like, we're. Why is my football team constantly under investigation? Remember, Ali, #TossBossRoss. And in so many ways, it's just more of the same. I mean, I'm checking my Dolphins fandom watching. Yeah, this is right on time for us. It's in the 3 to 5 year cycle where we need full-on scandal to eclipse everything with this football team. But continue.
No problem. So this was led by former U.S. Attorney and SEC Chair Mary Jo White and a team of lawyers from Debbie Boy's law firm. The commissioner expressed his deep appreciation to Ms. White and her colleagues for her comprehensive and objective review of these matters. So basically, the investigation focused on 2 subjects: whether the Dolphins violated the league rules in prohibiting tampering with a player and a coach under contract to other clubs, and 2, whether during the 2019 season the Dolphins intentionally lost games to improve the club's draft position in a 2020 draft, and whether Dolphins chairman and managing general partner Mr. Stephen Ross offered head coach Brian Flores financial incentives or otherwise encouraged him to lose games. The commissioner thanked the Dolphins for cooperation provided by the club and its leadership.
Okay, so right now it's essentially 3 things, what you're saying.
They said 2, but it's 3 altogether.
It's 3, really.
Yeah.
Did you offer the coach to lose games? Did you purposely lose games? That's 1A, 1B on that. And then the other one was, repeat it again?
Whether we violated league rules prohibiting tampering with a player and a coach.
Okay, so prohibiting tampering with a player and a coach. So there, I'm assuming more in the article to go into depth of what the tampering is. So go ahead.
Yes, that's the very first subject. So the investigation conclusively established violations of anti-tampering policy on 3 separate occasions. First, the Dolphins had impermissible communications with quarterback Tom Brady in 2019 and 2020 while he was under contract to the New England Patriots. Those communications began as early as August of 2019 and continued through 2019 season and postseason.
Okay,
These
so
numerous
what
Yeah.
Flores said about meeting Brady and being asked to meet Brady and stuff like that in this ruling is proven to be true. So
That's what they're saying. Now here is the kicker, and this is where your prediction came in, Captain. So these numerous and detailed discussions were conducted by Mr. Beal, who in turn kept Mr. Ross and other Dolphins executives informed of his discussions with Mr. Brady.
So Mr. Beal was the middleman and now is the fall man, as you'll talk a little bit about what's coming. Shout out to everybody who's already showed up. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. If you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, come over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. We'll do the rundown later. We just got to get right into this. Go ahead, Ellie.
So the Dolphins again had impermissible communications with both Mr. Brady and his agents after the 2021 season, while he was under contract to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those discussions began no later than early December of 2021 and focused on Mr. Brady becoming a limited partner in the Dolphins and possibly serving as a football executive, although at times these also included the possibility of his playing for the Dolphins. Both Messrs. I think they meant to say Mr. Ross and Beal were active participants in these discussions.
Okay, so discussions of Brady taking a partnership in ownership, but also not limited to him playing quarterback in the future with the Dolphins. And
they said there's a possibility of that.
This was done twice in the past 3 years. 2019, which I think is I don't know, is that the boat incident? Or was the boat incident the most recent one?
The boat incident happened when Flo was, I believe, in 2020, like before the 2020 season. I believe that's when that happened.
Okay.
In January of 2022, this is just past January, the Dolphins had impermissible communications with Don Yee, the agent of New Orleans Saints head coach Sean Payton, and having Mr. Payton serve as Miami's head coach. Miami did not seek consent from New Orleans to have these discussions, which occurred before Coach Payton announced his decision to retire.
Okay, well, wait a second. First of all, this is a rookie mistake, which I call BS on it. But okay, continue. I mean, they called his agent. You're telling me that you can't call somebody's agent, and if they did, like, that's such a rookie mistake. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, what a weird charge. If you know you can't talk to Sean Payton and you call his agent, you know that this is coming. So what the hell is really going on? Continue. That's a rookie mistake, and I don't buy it. But continue.
Yeah, so Miami did not seek consent from New Orleans to have these discussions, which occurred before Coach Payton announced his decision to retire as head coach of the Saints. Following the announcement, Miami requested permission to speak to Coach Payton for the first time, which New Orleans declined to grant. So they did. I guess they asked after the fact. That's kind of messed up.
I remember New Orleans denying the Dolphins the opportunity to talk to him. But all right, so and now there's a third thing you say.
Well, let me read the rest of this tampering. This is just covering tampering. That's all that this is. Then we move into the other areas as well. Okay. The investigators found tampering violations of unprecedented scope and severity. Commissioner Goodell said, "I know of no prior instance of a team violating the prohibition of tampering with both a head coach and a star player to the potential deterrent of multiple other clubs over the period of several years."
It's history-breaking type of tampering is what Roger Goodell says there. I have never in all my years ever seen tampering to this degree. Continue.
I mean, he's not wrong. It's always been a player, if anything, not a head coach and a player.
A coach and a player all in one fell swoop. But I mean,
yeah.
And you know what? it's also optically third, whether we get all the details of it or not. Tom Brady retired this year and came back. Sean Payton retired. He's taken a year off. I mean, just those actions alone show guilty tendencies around. Now, I do want to know that Dolphins are being punished. Stephen Ross is being punished. All that stuff. Does Sean Payton get in trouble for this? Does Tom Brady get in trouble for their part in a lot of this stuff? I wonder.
That is a good question. I guess we'll look at when they talk about on this document about the punishments, but we'll see here. So the next section is tanking to improve draft positions. That's the next subject line. The investigation also addressed whether the Dolphins intentionally lost games during the 2019 season to improve the club's draft position in 2020 draft, and whether Mr. Ross and other financial incentives or otherwise encouraged the head coach to do so. The investigation conclusively established the following. The Dolphins did not intentionally lose games during the 2019 season. That's the very first sentence. Nor did anyone at the club, including Mr. Ross, instruct Coach Flores to do so. No witness contended otherwise. The Dolphins competed hard to win every game, including at the end of the season when they beat Cincinnati and New England, despite worsening Miami's position in the 2020 draft. That right there says that we did not tank on purpose. We did not instruct Flo to lose games on purpose. That is big. That is big because that was one of the big issues that Flo brought in his lawsuit.
So, I mean, to me, them tanking and him getting paid money would be the biggest thing to punish in all of this. Us trying to get a player and a coach, okay, illegally talking to him, yes, but illegally just talking to him and nothing ever coming from it. It's not like we got the coach or the quarterback.
Yeah.
And we're getting a first-round pick and a third-round pick taken away from us. Continue. All right, I'm not feeling these charges right now, but okay.
I understand. I have more comments about the charges at the end, but I want to keep going through this document. So on number 2, this is the second paragraph. On a number of occasions during the 2019 season, Mr. Ross expressed his belief that the Dolphins' position in the upcoming 2020 draft should take priority over the team's win-loss record. These comments were made most frequently to team president and CEO Tom Garfinkel, but were also made to general manager Chris Greer, senior vice president Brandon Shore, and Coach Flores. These comments, which he took to be suggestions that he lose games, troubled Coach Flores and led him to express concerns in writing to senior club executives, each of whom assured Coach Flores that everyone, including Mr. Ross, supported him in, and let me go to the next page, building a winning culture in Miami. After this, Mr. Ross no longer made any such comments to Coach Flores. So they're telling me that it's basically he made suggestions. Hey, I want us to focus on us getting a good draft pick so we can win the future. And Flo took that as you need to lose games, and he wrote concerns to all these executives. But after that, they never brought it up again. They basically assured him and said, "Hey, we're behind you on winning a building culture."
MB81 says right here, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm not catching a lot, but he said they're trying to cover up the tanking. I don't know. I think the Dolphins did a good enough job if they were covering up by winning 5 football games. You know what I'm saying? They did a good enough job doing that themselves. To me, I don't know. I feel like the fact that Flores immediately went right to that and writing a letter and documenting it and having immediate CYA, and as much as I get, I want to believe Flores was a principled man and all this stuff, and maybe he is, and I have fought for that ideal. But I can't help but from where I sit look like we just got hung out to dry and we're being torched at the stake for other things, other reasons. They ain't got shit to do with the Dolphins or what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? I can't help but feel that this is more about ownership, relationship, player, relationship, this whole thing of like a power dynamic inside the NFL. And this is a piece of how they're changing that. And they're going after our owner, which I'm hashtag Toss Boss Ross. This guy's got us in a freaking pickle every time I turn around. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like that. Here I am as a Dolphins fan with limited things I could do about any of this shit. This is why I started this. You know what I'm saying? This is why we do this. This is about as much as I could do is voice my displeasure about it, and hopefully it band together with enough of us to where some kind of voice is heard about it. But this is just absolute nonsense, and I can't help but feel like Stephen Ross is out here playing billionaire games and got fucking played. Straight up, he's over here playing billionaire games, trying to get coaches and lose games and doing the same thing all these other organizations do. And he got played early. And I can't help but feel that it's Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, Flores, the whole thing playing the long game on us. I'm just being real. I can't help. I mean, am I certain? No. But I will. That scenario with where we sit now becomes an easy path for me to look at obtusely to find this picture where we come in, we get all these extra picks. We literally pick the bones of the Houston Texans to the point that during the transition of the old owner to the new owner, okay, we were almost got their quarterback too, along with all their other picks. Well, that was stopped. And remember, we're talking about another coach that is a New England tree guy and Brian Billick. And then we pick the bones dry of that. They come in, they stop us. Another New England guy comes into whatchamacallit, Houston as their GM. He stops us. This whole Deshaun Watson thing blows up in our face. And all the while where it hurts us and it hurts our owner. And you guys got to remember, our owner is not liked in the owner circle. He was one of the guys, along with Trump, creating that other league that really changed the dynamic of the NFL, which is why they didn't want, other people becoming owners and stuff. So this type of good old boys club against our owner in some way, minority, is still being perpetrated in some way. And I can't help but feel that we just got played in the long game bigger. And Ross, billionaire, playing billionaire, games, got us. He got again. And it's a further indictment on him as an owner, not handling the games that they're playing, the world that they live in, the universe we can only imagine about. We getting smoked. We're getting smoked right now, bro. We're getting smoked. We just got whammied. He's doing good stuff, building racetracks, freaking Formula One. Yeah, boo-hoo, blah, blah, blah. We just got freaking one of our draft picks that they didn't like that we took. Let's be real. They didn't like that. Here's the Dolphins taking this draft pick in this Larry Tunsil trade, parlaying it down, controlling the draft. Telling you, this is a lot more than just what it surfacely says. Because really, if you're telling me we talked to a coach and we talked to a player and that tampering line was crossed to the extent in which they're telling me, you know what I'm saying? To the extent they're telling me, that ain't worth no first and a third. That ain't worth no first.
I don't think it is either. But let's read the rest of this, what they found, because that might tell us why they might be doing this. Okay.
Real quick. Sports historian from Twitch, and I'm gonna pull you up. If you can get to YouTube, come over to YouTube. But I'll pull you up and says, "Who's to blame, Flores or Ross?" I mean, Ross to me, baby. I don't know where his personally lies. If it was a moral thing, then I don't want to blame him. If it was something he played a long game to screw us, then obviously he's smarter than I thought and did that too. But I blame the owner because this is just more of the same with this guy. Whether it was all Flo's fault, it was Ross that got played. It was Ross that got played in this to where here we are with our extra first-round pick. This tool we've been using to manipulate the cap, manipulate our roster, manipulate and push down for us to even be able to pivot off this quarterback to something else. That to me is all all but gone. Like, it's not a good thing.
No, not at all.
Nobody gets the pick, Fin Dog. That's it. It's gone. Pick ceases to exist. It's off the board. That's how that works. Nobody gets it.
Yeah. So
continue.
every
guys,
club,
make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Come over to YouTube. Subscribe over here. Continue, Ali.
No problem. So, number 3 of this issue. One such comment is claimed to offer by Mr. Ross to pay Coach Flores $100,000 to lose games, as to which there are differing recollections about the wording, timing, and context. That means they didn't really have a clear answer or proof that he offered it or didn't offer it.
Okay, so essentially, with that being said, in technical legal jargon, is the dots connect on different ways to make that narrative. So he said, "Yeah, man, I'll slide you an extra 100,000." Probably when they first met, and then 2 months later, he hears about, oh, no pressure if you get this, in a joking manner. Now he's put together 4 months worth of sayings to make one implied message, which doesn't hold up in court.
So this is kind of how I think they're sweeping it under the rug, to be honest. This is what they state. So they say, however phrased, such a comment was not intended or taken to be serious offer, nor was subject pursued in any respect by Mr. Ross or anyone else at the club. So they're basically saying that this comment wasn't supposed to be taken serious, and they were basically joking, and Flo didn't take it serious either. So why the heck is Flo even bringing it up if he knew it wasn't a serious offer?
Well,
you know what I mean?
To that effect, I think, listen, I always felt Flo intentionally was salty about it, and rightfully so. I thought he got boxed out in a lot of bad ways, but all this other nonsense, it just brought a punishment on top of us that when we pivoted off of Flores, that's really where everything got wrong. And I mean, what are we talking about? You talked to Tom Brady when he was a free agent, and then, did he retire? Did he not retire? I don't know, man. Like it's real wishy-washy. Maybe the timelines implement us in some wrongdoings, but at the same time, like, what's going to happen to Tom Brady? Tom Brady in trouble? Is Sean Payton in trouble?
Well, this is where it goes on to the discussions about the disciplines. So every club is expected to make a good faith effort to win every game, Commissioner Goodell stated. The integrity of the game, the public confidence in professional football demand no less. And an owner or senior executive must understand the weight that his or her words carry, and that the risk of comment will be taken seriously and acted upon, even if that is not the intent or expectation. Even if made in jest and not intended to be taken seriously, comments suggesting the draft position is more important than winning can be misunderstood and carry and carry with them an unnecessary potential risk in the integrity of the game. The comments made by Mr. Ross did not affect Coach Flores' commitment to win, and the Dolphins competed to win every game. Coach Flores is to be commended for not allowing any comment about the relative importance of draft position to affect his commitment to win throughout the season. Based on the findings and conclusions, the following disciplines have been imposed. The Dolphins will forfeit the club's first-round selection in the 2023 NFL Draft and third-round selection in the 2024 Draft. Mr. Ross is suspended through October 17th through 2022. During this period, he may not be present at Dolphin facility and may not represent the club at any team or NFL event. He may not attend the league meetings prior to the annual meeting in 2023, is removed from all league committees indefinitely, and fined $1.5 million. Mr. Beal.
Okay, Dolphins hold up. Let's break that down.
Sure.
So he can't come there till October when? So he's he's not allowed to flash his toy around till October what, 17th?
October 17th at the facility. At the facility is when he's suspended for. So from the start, all the way from now to October 17th. Here is the kicker, though, and this is where Toss Ross might come into play at some point. They're saying that he may not attend any league meeting prior to the annual meeting in 2023. So he can't go to any league meetings for the whole
that's
year.
Where they're going to have the big, long discussion about how they're going to take the team from our owner. Which, hey, listen, that Toss Boss Ross was brought on by himself. You know how I feel. Something else is coming. They don't just take the team from one of their own, especially one that's brought them big business this way. He'll elevate into some role dealing with the NFL and the gambling.
He'll be the man behind the curtain. We all know that. He'll be the man
behind the curtain with the gambling end. That's he's already got some money in on all that. And remember who sponsors our team?
Yeah, the Hard Rock.
Yeah, I mean, dude, and all that's good, and I get it. I just noticed that, and this is where my gripe is with my owner. It's all about business with him, but it ain't about my business. It ain't about what serves me, the fan, the best. It doesn't serve me the best. It never has. It's always at the behest of us, how much we give it. Hopefully Tua can deliver for all the shortcomings of the organization, because now he's got to carry this nonsense. This is ridiculous.
That is true. And
I'm dead serious. Think about this, bro. Think about that. This team with pressure couldn't be any heavier, and now this is on our feet. This is on us.
Yeah. I mean, it's really disappointing. Now, not only do you have the pressure on the team to really hope that Tua works out and be the quarterback that we need him to be, but now you're putting pressure on your quarterback too, because he has all that pressure to actually perform now. You know, he had pressure before, but now it's that much serious.
Rookie head coach has got to field questions about all this crap. Hey, how do you feel about Sean Payton should have had your job? Hey, Tua, how do you feel about Tom Brady should have had your job? I mean, not that I didn't already was saying all this, but now that's got to be brought to my guys. Now my guys have to deal with it. We can fight about it in the fan base, and I had good fun fighting with it. But I don't want my guys fighting about it. I need them focused on football. I mean, damn, bro, this is killer. This is terrible.
It's absolutely terrible. I mean, it goes on to talk about Mr. Bruce Beal, the Dolphins vice chairman and limited partner. He may not attend league meetings for the remainder of the 2022 season and is fined $500,000. Wow.
Andres points out that his first game back is the Steelers game.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, this is all planned.
Listen,
the season, the season schedule, everything makes complete sense now.
Pete says Watson and Ross both serving time in the same cell. Listen, I don't know, but I will shout out to Pete with the super chat. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. Here's the thing, real quick, Captain.
Go ahead.
So, I have a feeling that this could be appealed, right? I mean, you can appeal any discipline, right?
I'm thinking the same thing, Ali. Like, I would be appealing the hell out of this, bro.
Because they already proved.
You're going to have to drag these other people. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. That's what Ross should play right now. If you're going to take away my first-round draft pick like this, I'm taking you with me. I ain't playing with that. That's my future. But then again, when has he done whatever to serve me? You know,
yeah,
that's the thing.
The reason I think it should be appealed is because some of the stuff that they're getting us for, that they're adding to us having communications with Brady and stuff like that, it was well known in the public. It wasn't hidden or anything. You know what I mean?
Drag Brady, the golden boy, into this mess right now. Watch how things change.
I'm telling you, like I can understand when he was still with the Patriots. I get that part of it, right? But I don't understand how you're going to come after us for interviewing him for a partner position, not even a player, which you couldn't really prove, even though it said it was a possibility, right? And it was well known in the public. It wasn't like anything hidden or anything. Why didn't the NFL come and say, hey, you can't interview him? That's tampering. Where were they then? They should have said something right then and there. You know what I mean?
I
That's
mean,
that's
look,
what I don't understand.
even if they did, where's the fault? You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
tampering, nothing come at it. All right, breaking the rules, fine. Is that standard now? Breaking the rules, you're taking my first round draft pick. What happened with the Patriots when they were spying on people and had game
Yeah.
film? That's
Mm-hmm.
that's more of a okay. Look, I would imagine, and for anyone who doesn't know, players talk to players. You relay this. Players will go to a player and try to get them to come to their team.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think the Rams got put together? You know what I'm saying? How do you think these teams get put together? Go look at Tampa Bay. They're all talking to each other on other teams, trying to get them to come over. It really, when you're talking about calling up a guy's agent, now if he ended up on the team and we're getting all this, fine. They could be like, hey, bullshit, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Or if he retired and unretired and stole them away or something, okay. But trying to do it and that equates to a first round draft pick. I don't know. When the Patriots were caught spying and videotaping other teams, I'd be interested to know what they had to pay as far as that went. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's just I don't understand this. The only other thing in recent times that I've seen with professional sports and the tampering charge, where it's kind of similar in a weird way, was the Lakers were trying to get a player from the Pacers. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but Magic Johnson was open and vocal about it and made comments, like little
I
comments here
remember
and there,
that. I
open.
remember all that.
And all he got was like a $500,000 fine. They didn't lose draft picks. They didn't get put in, on the blacklist or anything like that. That's what I don't get that. I don't understand. Like, I understand we had the possibility of losing draft picks, but I think this was kind of, and they kind of commented at the end of this document. At the end, it basically goes on to say that this was based on the most stringent what's the word I'm looking for? The stringent penalties, and if this further occurs, it could be even worse. Is basically what they're saying.
If what further occurs, again, I see what it is, but they really need to call it. It looks like a lot of stuff was happening, and some of it was, but all of this was moving to have a competitive edge, no different than any other organization, mind you. And that's, again, a problem. Here he is getting caught sneaking up, and he's losing the billionaire war that we need him to fight, which is another indictment as him as the owner. But again, like, this is DDG says Ross is a serial tamperer. That's pretty good. He's a serial tamperer. Oh man. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's ugly to say the least. And I mean, damn, what a pain in the ass for us fans that I don't know. I want to know what happens to everyone else involved in this. You know what I'm saying? Why?
There's no mention of any penalties coming to to Peyton or Brady whatsoever, which I think there should be if they willingly were there to listen or have their agents, speak on their behalf. That's participating one way or the other.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but the way they moved during all this time spells guilty for me. That's what I'm being indicted for. It wasn't what you caught me doing. It was how we were moving while we were doing this. That's what we're being punished for. We're being punished for optics, not for certainties. Some of them have, validity in the optics and deem punishment, but that's not what they're saying. They're even talking about it could be worse for us. They took a first and a third, and my owner can't be around, and another dude with the building can't be around a whole year. Granted, they did some shady shit, but I feel like it's hurting me the most. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do shit shady. You know what I'm saying? What the hell you mean? I didn't do nothing. So, I don't know, man. What's up, Color? Dang, color live in action. You're
muted, Color.
Yep, I got you.
What's up, buddy? You heading back?
Yep, heading back on the road. Got plenty of info to disseminate for everybody once I get stationary.
Color, how do you feel about the news?
I just got the bare details.
Oh, well, essentially this way, Color. We got body slammed by the NFL.
We got hosed.
We got hosed pretty good, and it's all a lot of speculatory, really. It's all on how we moved during all this nonsense and how the optics played bad. We were guilty of something. Didn't catch you, but we know you were guilty.
So was this for the boat trip and not the Flores thing, or
all of above?
Okay, so it was about the Flores thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. This is basically what they found, Color. I'll break it down to you really simple. They basically said we did not intentionally lose games whatsoever. They found no proof of us doing that whatsoever. They did say that there were comments that Ross made that draft position is important to him over winning. But they basically had documentation that proved that Coach Flo was reassured that we support him on winning a winning culture no matter what. And they also got us for meeting up with Brady and talking to him about a partner position. They smacked us on the hand for that, and smacked us on the hand for discussing a possibility of getting Peyton as coach. So I understand when we met up with Brady up for the yacht thing, if that really happened the way it did, I get why we get smacked for that. But they actually mention us interviewing him for a possible partner position. I don't see how you discipline somebody for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like...
So we can claim that the boat meeting was about business and not quarterbacking.
That's true, but I mean, basically they said, we're going to smack you on the hand because there's a possibility it could have been about playing as well. That's basically what they did.
I see.
Even though they didn't have any actual evidence or witness or anything. And that's the other thing. There was no witness.
And so this isn't...
Go ahead.
Right. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say, remember when the whole Flo lawsuit came about, there was supposedly a witness?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't find any witness in this investigation based on this document that Ian Rappaport provided on Twitter.
Right. Interesting. I mean, is it not surprising to anybody that it's obvious that the league is not going to be able to extend the Deshaun Watson suspension, so they want to shift the optics?
I think that's what all these disciplines have been about, like giving Calvin Ridley a 1-year suspension for $1,500 for games that his team didn't even participate in. You know what I mean? So I think that's what it's all been about. It's all been about slapping everybody's hand and say we're not tolerating it, essentially. You know, like kind of sending a message.
I just find the timing to be interesting. They haven't mentioned one word of this thing in months, and then they just drop a decision and everything right out of the blue.
That is absolutely, the truth. I'm not going to lie. I'm not trying to stir anything up or anything, but I'm not going to lie. I won't be surprised if it comes out that they settled with Coach Flores, the lawsuit. I will not be surprised at all. So
part of them
maybe this was part of the settlement.
I was going to say part of that's getting him a job in Pittsburgh too. Because if there's any kind of settlement issued, the judge can take that into consideration that they tried to do. It's sort of like when Philip Morris and everybody went down. Part of their settlement was not only paying people, but they actually had to donate a certain, like they had to set up like anti-smoking campaigns and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they basically had to advertise against their own product.
Yeah.
And they were ordered by the court to do that. So I could see a case where they would be like, it's like,
yeah,
we got him a job with Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? So we weren't blackballing him. You should at least give us credit for that.
It feels like something else going on with all this. You know what I'm saying? It's like the kettle calling the pot black. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are you talking about, bro?
Yep.
This is all in this way. I think a lot of it has to do with how we picked Houston dry, and then we went after their quarterback, and I feel like that whole thing blew up into this bad PR thing, and we're in trouble for it because our owner perpetrated trying to do that as far as getting their QB win. And I'm dead serious about that. I've been saying that for a long time. I've been saying that for a while, dude. And the fact that it's now come to a punishment almost confirms everything I believe about it. That we were there, that owner was passing, young guy was coming in. It's the same thing that happened to Ross when he became owner. Same thing that happens to all owners when they first get coming in as a new owner. They get picked dry by all the other organizations and GMs. Oh, I'm your friend, and you got to make friends, and they just steal all their players and draft picks and stuff like that. And then they wise up. But for whatever reason, when the GM got hired, and it was the dude that's well respected from the Patriots, their player personnel dude or whatever the hell his name is, that all stopped, and now it's all blowing back up in our face. And to me, it feels like it's a little bit of a Belichick type of thing, because everything was okay at what we were doing this when Flores was on the team. When Flores got off the team, now everything's out in the open, coming and getting us. I'm telling you, something else going on here. Something else happened here. Good old boy.
So did we? I've been kind of like, I've been out of it, just watching practice, and I didn't know. Did we go live to announce this? Is that what the show was? Because I don't want to cramp anybody's style, but
no,
I noticed
we're ready to move off. We're ready to move off that. It sucks. I don't want to be doom and gloom. That's why I started this with the breaking news, to go through it. If you guys are just now arriving, you can go back and watch it later. I do want to talk about practice colors. So
no, I don't want. No, obviously, I'm just jumping in. I'm just behind the 8 ball, so I don't know.
We lost the first and the third color.
Wow, apparently suspended for 6 games.
Yep, and that guy David, what's his name?
Beal
is gone all season. He can't come around at all.
Wow, really?
Plus $1.5 million, plus $1 million. And you've been hearing David Beal's name as of late.
Isn't he the guy that was supposed to take over the franchise for Ross if anything went south or something? Like, isn't he the next prospective owner?
To me, Color, and you remember when we hired McDaniel, that's when we started hearing his name a lot. And I was like, why am I hearing this guy's name? They were letting us know this is our fall dude. Here it comes. You know what I'm saying? When they put that pecking order, remember when Ross did that?
So ownership is wide open again now.
It's like, even when he said the pecking order of hiring McDaniel, it's McDaniel to Greer to Beal and Garfinkel to Ross, and he showed the totem pole of how the buffer in between. It's just the whole thing, man.
Beal's name actually gets mentioned quite a few times in this document. Garfinkel only gets mentioned once, and it was only relating to the fact that he got letters or a letter from Coach Flo regarding his concerns.
Right.
Flipside Fishing's asking if he's the new owner. I don't know if he's the supposed.
I thought that was the guy that Ross had in line for succession, that already had the deal in place.
Don't be surprised if we end up with if we end up with no owner come the end.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Well, the speculation was that because of all this, that deal would be off the table, like the NFL would strike it down.
Well, if you look at the New Orleans Saints with the wife of the owner who passed, said she's given the team to this city. You could probably see something like this happen. And I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, because then you're going to have a bunch of bureaucrats running our draft.
That's it.
A bunch of political bureaucrats running our draft.
And I ain't down with a city kind of owning a team. I mean, I get how good it could be because how much, like, I mean, look, let's be real. Orlando's owned by Disney. Like everything, and Orlando and Disney's so big in the state. I don't know if you guys know this. When you come to the state, all the interstates now, as they're building new roads, all are pulling it to the center to Orlando to spider out to everywhere else. You go up and down the coast, but they want you going inland to Orlando.
Yeah, they pretty much own.
Disney is the largest employer in Florida.
They pretty much own. They pretty much own all the land that's not owned by Kissimmee and not owned by Orlando. And that's actually a bigger slice of land than like one of them.
Yeah.
By themselves.
Yeah. It's more than Orlando, not Kissimmee.
Yeah.
But, all this stuff, here comes a whole new bag of problems if we lose our owner to the city in this way. And something that I really think this is the beginning of that type of conversation being our future. And I don't want that to be our future. This is not good.
It isn't good. I honestly think that's why they suspended him. Like where that whole part where they said that he can't go to any league meetings or anything until the annual meeting.
What do you think they're talking about when he ain't there? Who's got our interest for our football team in mind? Listen, I don't like Ross for a lot of reasons. And more so than I don't think he has my interest in mind. But I think he has the business of the Dolphins as an owner standpoint at his interest, certainly not to get it subverted from him in this way. And if it ends up where they dissolve him as an owner with no one to buy it behind him, I don't want Amazon coming and buying it either. I don't like all this. I hate it. I hate all this.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why I gotta go through this? Go give me my
So
damn
who
Super
represents
Bowl
the team if those two guys can't? Would it be Garfinkel?
Probably. Gotta be, right?
Well, president, yeah, he'd be the president.
Yeah.
Ailman
Look, I honestly, part of me also wouldn't be surprised if this was like the negotiation to be like, hey, take the fall on this and we'll let you stay as owner or something.
Joe, if you don't think the city of Miami wants the controlling interest of that football team, you out your damn mind, bro. You out your mind, bro. We're talking dirty laundering, all that stuff. Have you seen the ticket prices? How much money they could flush through that crap when these bureaucrats get their palms greased? Damn, bro, I don't need this in my life. Ugh. Anywho, let's get on to practice. All right, we're moving off the topic for now. Let's talk about practice. Color had boots on the ground. Batman was there with you. Also, who was there with you? Nando was hanging out with you guys.
Yep, we met up with Nando.
TD there.
I'm sorry?
You saw TD there and stuff too?
Yep. TD was hanging out up in the upper row, doing this show, live streaming. And, we had a Gordito, we had Iceman with us. Cool. Down from PSL. It was a great day, man. Great day. I mean, I can tell you,
Yeah, give us some nuggets because for everyone who doesn't know, Color's going to do a solid show just to give everything and break it down. Got a couple of pictures, got a little bit of videos he's going to clean up and bring up and do some stuff. I've posted some of them on Twitter, but they're grainy because it's coming off text to my phone and it just loses the quality. So you're going to have to take care of that.
Right.
But go ahead.
Well, I guess the first, question on everybody's mind is what does Color think about watching Tua live in his first practice?
That's what I want to know.
With my own eyes.
And I want to know at matching up in mechanics, arm strength, all that good stuff that you're going to talk about to Teddy and Skylar. So go ahead. Sure.
I can tell you that during warm-ups, I actually noticed even some of his warm-ups throws were really looking good. He's got, that command we've noticed a couple times that we weren't sure if we were really seeing. I'm thinking that's there. I think overall, I would say it was a very positive practice for Tua. I think he got a lot accomplished. I think the offense rolled along during the last session, which was a full scrimmage. We moved the ball well with the running attack. Chase Edmonds was hitting it hard today, all day. Gaskin was a little light on his feet today, I think. Had a couple good runs, had a couple good breakthroughs. but yeah, there is a stark difference, in my opinion, between Edmonds and Gaskin in that
A
regard.
noticeable difference in play speed, huh?
Yep, and I would say again, just on the surface, overall, great practice for Tua. I think Teddy in his warm-ups seemed a little, I don't know, disinterested maybe in some of his kind of warm-up throws.
Maybe because he was told that Skyler was going to get quite a bit of work today.
Well, I did
Skyler,
notice that. That was going to be my other take, was that, yeah, Skyler did get quite a few reps with the, more than Teddy, and a few reps with the first team, like the first, running attack team. He was on the field. He was in a couple plays with Tyreek even.
So how did it look? How did he look?
Well, yeah. Skyler put a nice ball up on the sideline. I think it was to Waddle, but it could have been.
It was to Waddle.
Yeah. But so did Tua. Tua dropped this dime in on the sideline at the mid-range level. It was coming straight at me because I was kind of right at about the 40, and their line of scrimmage was right about their own 30. Mm-hmm. So the ball was a nice intermediate range, tight spiral. It kind of looked like it had an upward trajectory, like a sail, but it was put right on the sideline. Nice shoestring catch. Nowhere else anybody else could get it.
A couple questions coming from some of the guys. Ace of Spades says, color commentary, in your opinion, does the offense look similar to last year?
Not really. I mean, They opened it up in the first couple sessions that were just, light, because they kind of worked it up, with intensity. And by the end of it, now I was seeing some fairly complex running schemes where you had a lot of, misdirection, like we've been saying we're going to see. You see a lot of
double motions at times,
lots of inside traps where all of a sudden the running, everything gets closed up and the running back, and this hole opens up and the running back just comes right through it. And for the most part, I think Edmonds was hitting the hole harder than most today. Mostert, definitely on.
Okay, DP.
I didn't.
DP asks, how's the O-line look?
First session where it was a little lighter contact.
Mm-hmm.
There was a few issues. Tua had to throw the ball into the backfield a couple times because, when it's like that, they don't bother throwing away. They just kick it right in the dirt next to the coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of that, but then that worked kind of out really quick, and like they were moving the ball, they were completing some balls. Tua had a couple drops. There was one that was in the first session that was pretty much overthrown the tight end and almost intercepted by either Trill or Javon. I can't, because one of their jerseys was up, so the 6 looked like the 8 all day. It was hard to discern between the two sometimes.
Between Trill Williams and Noah?
Yeah, no, and Javon.
Oh, and Javon, excuse me.
On that particular play, because it was across the middle and the tight end kind of came across the middle, not really on a post, and or it was like a skinny post, but the ball was way out of position. Like the tight end didn't even have a chance, but it was in and out of the hands of the DB. I thought it was number 6, but it could have been Javon right up the middle as the free safety. Whoever it was immediately went over to the sideline and started self-disciplining with push-ups.
Yeah, so gotta have the ball. Put your hands on the ball. You got to get the ball. So, Cap for Life is.
Yep. And one other thing I wanted to point out, during warm-ups, right off and this is something we saw in the warm-up film I had seen with X that one time, where I just got kind of really impressed with his ball catching abilities. And when everybody first lined up for soft warm-ups for the DBs, like everybody was dropping them, bouncing right out. Here comes X, last one in line. Nope, head down, head dip, everything caught, no problem. It was such a stark difference to watch him in the warm-up line than some of the other DBs. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's all.
But and what did you say? Cat for Life had a question?
Yeah, Cap for Life was asking about Noah Igbenogany. Was he still getting torched out there? Did you see anything from Noah today?
Nobody was really getting torched. There was one play that was a big one that ended up down the sideline. Probably would have been stopped because they still weren't tackling fully. But by the end of the last session, I mean, I thought we were moving the ball fairly well in the running game. Tua was hitting some nice stuff. There was a nice, really nice, like one of the last plays we saw as practice was dwindling down was some stuff out at the like 5-10 yard line, red zone stuff, and they had this nice little quick wide receiver screen to Tyreek, and it looked like it closed up on him quick, but he just bounced it to the outside and took the flag. Absolutely no problem. Took the
nice. Just burnt to the corner, to the pylon.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. And he did have contact,
kind of stuff,
but momentum and all that. If that was live action, he would have bowled into the end zone.
He would have dove out and anything. That's the kind of stuff we're going to get from
I mean, the defense was completely outmatched when he decided to stop and take the outside. They were completely outmatched.
Yeah, there's nobody that's going to be able to get the right angle on him unless one of your safeties was playing super wide, in which case he would have cut inside, not out. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
and one of them met him at the pylon, but it was already too late. Like with the momentum and all that, Tyreek would have got in if it was live football. You know what I mean? If it was like truly live, he would have easily got in. So that was nice. There was a really nice throw by Tua on the sideline. Skyler had a really good one on the sideline to the other side. Teddy had a couple good throws, just handed the ball off a couple times. Like I said, didn't get near as much action as the other two. And in the last session, it was pretty much QB1 only. And we pretty much just kind of drove down the field, Granted, we would have had to punt, if it was a real game, but we just kept driving down the field and setting the ball where it was at. You know what I mean? So, but for the most part, we were actually moving it, had a couple great runs by Edmonds. And the only thing I'd say is that, mechanics look great on Tua. He's doing what he needs to do. He does the offensive line for the most part, man. I mean, they're opening up holes. They're protecting Tua. He didn't have the kind of protection he did on the play the other day. But there was a play very similar to that got broken out by Tyreek. And there was also a nice one down the sideline by Waddle on like a crosser.
Mark Jones asks, who impressed you the most today? Good or bad?
Who impressed me the most today?
Who surprised you the most, good or bad?
I would say first and foremost Edmonds, but as far as I didn't think that like I honestly thought that like it's a night and day difference. And I don't want to say, we're only still looking at but even in the live session, we didn't see we saw a lot more confidence, in my opinion, out of Tua. Like just his stance.
He seemed poised. He seemed dialed in.
He's reading stuff, you know what I mean? Sometimes making the wrong choice, but reading stuff. He had the one bad pass over the middle, but that was about it. Most of them were serviceable. And I'll tell you, Skyler coming in behind him, he put a crosser on somebody that was kind of behind the guy. So, Tua outshined the quarterback room today. I must admit, he seemed like the guy that should have been on the field. You know what I mean?
I expect him to, and that's good to hear. Go ahead.
I'm just going to tell you I'm jealous.
What surprised me, I'm sorry, to answer the question, that what surprised me was that he looked like he belonged on the field. He looked like he belonged with where he was at and what he was doing.
Go ahead, Ali.
I was just going to tell Color, I saw what you posted in that chat. I'm jealous.
What's that?
I saw what you posted.
Oh, I know. I sent it to Lewis too.
I'm not gonna share that. I'll let you share that on your show, but yeah, I'm very jealous.
And
Anthony's
I want to
question
tell.
real quick.
That. Go ahead. You said you got a question.
Well, no, I'm just going to answer Anthony that we lost a first and a third at both of our picks. We didn't lose the San Francisco pick, but hopefully San Francisco shits the bed and it's a top 5 pick, and then we don't have to worry about things. But go ahead, Color.
So true story, Ali. The way I got him, and first of all, I was the first autograph he gave out, right?
That is awesome.
And the reason he came over is because I was yelling at him. Like he turned around, faced the crowd, started to walk over, and then he backed off like he was joking. And I pointed at him and I said, "Hey man," I'm not gonna say his name right now, but I'm like, "Hey man, best name in football right there. Best name in football." And I'm calling it out his name. And he comes over. I'm like, "Bro, you got the best name in football." And he's all signing my bill.
Nice, bro.
But he kind of gave me this look like I was like, "Bro, something's fishy here, man. I can't possibly have the best name in football."
Well,
almost as if he started to recognize who I was, especially saying that.
Hey, I won't be surprised if he watches our show. I won't be surprised.
Him and the rest of them, guys. Him and the rest of them.
I almost asked him to shorten it, but I wasn't going to do that to the man. It's his own name.
Oh, man.
You're like, bro. Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah. I'm very jealous, dude. I'm very glad that you had a good time. What was I going to say?
Tyreek signed a bunch of autographs for everybody. He went through the whole group. I mean, kids were mobbing him. Oh, it was amazing. Tua's came over to sign a bunch of autographs. Kids mobbed him too. He took a few pictures with kids and all that. Was there for a while, interacting with the group, getting autographs.
That's good stuff, man. That's good to hear that the guys are, doing their end, especially for the kids, man. I remember going to camp and them coming over and just not even signing stuff, just saying hi to people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Jerome Baker came over, talked up the crowd.
I saw how Skylar and what's his name did the crowd stuff. That was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. They opened it up today. I got a little bit of video of Skylar.
Who was it? Was Skylar and who else? Who was the other person?
Braylon Sanders.
Was it Braylon Sanders?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he had
apparently that's the new rookie hazing. You know what I'm saying?
So the one thing concerning me, and I don't know if anybody else has any insight to this because you guys are all at your computers and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously there was one person I really wanted to get an autograph from, and I noticed that he was not in the last session, the entire last part of the practice session. Was number 15.
Really?
Jalen Phillips, yeah. I think I can't report this for sure. I can only report that I didn't see him after about 3/4 of the way through the practice. So I'm thinking he went in early. I want to report that because like I said, I didn't, when the team broke up after the last session, he was nowhere on the field to be found. Like I was searching it because I was going to yell to call him over to get an autograph.
Let me get the breaking news thing real quick.
This is a TFTG breaking news report.
Coming at you live from practice facility, color commentary. What was it again? Jalen Phillips did not finish practice and went in.
Yep. As far as I can tell, it looks like Jalen Phillips left the practice field early. We could have. I mean, we don't know the nature of that. There's no. I wasn't able to get any. Wasn't able to ask anybody about it. But he definitely wasn't out there with the full team when the last session broke up. And everybody was going back to the locker room.
Here first, TFTG, that let's hope that it's just a precautionary thing, or maybe he had a doctor's appointment, or
could have been planned. Yeah, sure. We don't know the nature of it.
Maybe he had to go to the bathroom, but facts remain that he was not on.
Could be load management.
I just checked my sources. I haven't heard anything yet.
You know, I do remember the last time I saw him. He looked healthy. He looked fine.
Breaking up a little bit, color hitting on
and then the initial hitting the bag warm-ups and all that. How about now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was hitting the bag well. He was going through all the first, one-on-one reps and all that. He was playing. I can't recall seeing him in the first session of scrimmages because I wanted to get a look at his pass rushing and all that. So he may have been out earlier than I realized, but I do remember finding him on the sideline when they were going through their second
series of.
He looked fine. He walked all the way down the sideline of and so on the sideline, he was hanging down in the corner of the field for a minute.
You're breaking up a little bit again, color. Breaking up a little bit again. So let's just hope that with Jalen Phillips, I'm gonna have to mute color. He's breaking up all over the place. Color, you there? You're breaking up, buddy. Let's just hope that this has, nothing to do with anything. Could be cramping, could be bathroom, stuff like that. Nothing's come out as far as injury report, but Color said with his own eyes he didn't see him out there for the final series or when they left. So let's hope that it's something to that effect. It probably is. Probably nothing to worry about. So, but it wasn't there. I want to see if I can find anything.
I looked myself for on my sources that I go to. They haven't reported anything.
Yeah,
not yet, at least.
Let me look and see.
I mean, I even, like I said, I saw him hanging out down in the corner of the field for a minute with his helmet off, and he looked all right. But then that's when I lost track of him and didn't see him the rest of practice. And I don't recall seeing him in any of the scrimmage reps either, because I was looking to see how he was looking against our offensive line.
Look, I'm reading the availability report. It says Byron Jones lower, Michael Dieter foot, Adam Butler undisclosed injury, defensive back Elijah Campbell non-football injury, fullback John Lovett undisclosed injury remains sideline. Teron Armstead, Sony Michel were limited as Dolphins transition them back from off-season procedures. They have both been cleared medically, but Dolphins are doing due diligence. Mozart and Alec Engel off surgery. They're still wearing red jerseys. That's it. Nothing about Jalen Phillips. So hopefully it was just something to that effect.
Load management, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a load management thing, maybe a hydration thing, maybe some kind of, I don't know, something else. Maybe they brought him in to take that machine off of him, test all of his hydration levels and stuff like that. Who knows?
Yeah. Which was kind of, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed. I wanted to see him in action, but whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So I heard a lot of good about the defense, some nice blitzes and stuff like that from the D line and everything like that, bringing pressure, trying to offense. How'd that look?
Pretty good actually. And you had him getting in the backfield a couple times early on. Offensive line kind of gained their feet underneath them and were really, for the most part, holding their own. I mean, I thought Skyler had the few series he was in. He had plenty of time to throw, connected with a few nice ones. Same with Tua. And like I said, Teddy had not very limited, but the plays that he was running were kind of incidental to the quarterback, as far as that goes, handoffs, stuff like that. I did notice that, and this is maybe something that's been a point of contention before, Whether it's true, false, who knows? I can tell you that I witnessed for my own eyes when they were running their red zone drills, their scrimmage. The Tua did check to a different play
Oh,
at
good.
the line of scrimmage.
That's good
He
to
ended
hear.
up checking to a run play that only got a couple yards, but it was still, just a report that he did change the play at the line of scrimmage. At least it
Did
looked
it
like that.
appear to
He
be?
may
Did
have
it appear to
he
be the
may have
right
just
play to
been
check
changing.
into?
He may have just been changing protections, not the
Mhm.
whole play, but he was commanding the offense pre-snap at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I got you. I understand. The message is his overall control of the offense, being the leader we need him to be, versus to
You
what
know,
we've seen him maybe look confused out there, and
pointing at
one would
guys,
expect
moving
it
them,
too.
telling them to move a little bit up, smidgen up, or whatever. Just getting guys set right, and then either checking to a different protection or an audible outright. I'm not really sure. The play didn't really gain much. So if he was checking to a different blocking or, a different scheme as far as blocking, it didn't really change much. You know what I mean? And you really don't necessarily check, protections on a run play per se. You'd more just outright change the play. You know what I mean?
So,
But I guess you could, but
well,
there's
it's
not too
interesting to
much to
see.
running. It's like
There's tons of stuff I want to talk to about it, but I want you to save as much, and I know you got some good video and stuff like that. So yeah, guys, I'll be excited when you come out and release all that stuff. I'm gonna do the notes and highlights. I'm gonna put you on mute, color. There you go. And I'm gonna do the news and highlights from the thing real quick and do the rundown. I think it's Barry Jackson and Daniel Afusier here with news and highlights. So let's go ahead and run down on the Dolphins. The Dolphins on Tuesday held their first of 5 consecutive practices open to reporters with the Thursday off on their only break this week. It was a surreal morning because midway through practice, the Dolphins were severely punished by the NFL with the Tom Brady and Sean Payton stuff. As we'll touch back on it real quick, we lost a 2023 first rounder and a 2024 third rounder. Stephen Ross was fined $1.5 million, and he can't get back till mid-October. And it's just another absolute sock in the face to Dolphin fans. Just more crap for us to shoulder going into a season with enough questions about our quarterback, our coach. Now they got to deal with this crap too, which pisses me off. Stars of the day, the pass rushers were stars of the day. Defensive coordinator Josh Boyer unleashed a bunch of blitzes, but even on 4-man front rushes, the Dolphins defense often got to the quarterbacks on a day that left tackle Teron Armstead sat out on the 7-on-7 drills. Melvin Ingram, Cameron Good, I heard made a nice play. Javon Holland, Porter Gustus had would-be sacks. Gustus had 2, which that's good to hear about Porter coming in here doing good. That's the guy we picked up from Cleveland. Did we get him from Cleveland, or did he not re-up? I can't remember, but that's the guy, pushing for some time. Christian Wilkins, Duke Riley, and Cater Kahoo flushed quarterback out of pocket a couple times. That Cater Kahoo, somebody I'm interested. He's an undrafted guy that we got. I'll be releasing the undrafted rookie breakdown soon. Tyreek Hill.
That was real quick. That was one other thing I noticed. Skyler on one of those plays that he was flushed out of the pocket was they did actually take it up for maybe a 5 or 6 yard gain up the sideline.
Oh yeah, I expect to see that from him in the preseason too. Him with the ball underneath there and running. He had some good plays in college with that for Skylar Thompson. I want to see that. Tyreek Hill. This is a recording. I don't know why it says that. He began practice with a 30-yard catch and run from Tua. Then he caught another 25-yarder from Tua and then a 20-yarder from Skylar Thompson, which that's what we want to see. Nice 20-yard plus gain.
Who was that again?
It was Tyreek Hill, a 30-yard catch and
Oh,
run.
okay. Yep.
25-yarder from Tua, both those from Tua, and then a 20-yarder from Skylar Thompson,
Yep.
which is the exact thing we want to see. Jalen Waddle, he scampered for 15 yards on a carry and also caught a 20-yard pass from Thompson, who looked very good the past 2 days.
And I want to say that was at which point I texted you and asked you who wore number 12.
Yeah.
But I thought it might have been 17 on the jersey on that play. And if I remember correctly, the reason I asked you is because whoever it was kind of walking a little gingerly after that play, trotting back to the sideline. So
a little shook up on the play.
Yeah, I think it was actually 17. So,
but Waddle got a little shook up.
But he was balling out later in practice, so I don't think it affected him. It affected him at all. It just kind of got a little, he took a good fall, hard fall on that.
Got a flat tire. I get you. Eric Ikuzama, the rookie receiver, caught a long pass and appears to be leading the competition for the number 4 wide receiver job, which that's really good news to hear. Can you imagine? Guy picked up in the 4th round, and he immediately becomes the 4th wide receiver on the depth chart, pushing back guys like Lynn Bowden, Trent Sherfield, Preston Williams, River Craycraft, Devon Deadman. I mean, all these guys get pushed back, and who knows, number 5 could be Braylon Sanders. I'm telling you, Braylon Sanders has been balling out. Another big plays of the day. Sam McGuavin blew up Myles Gaskin on a rushing attempt. I heard about that one too. Chase Edmonds scampered through a big hole created by Liam Eichenberg and Connor Williams for a sizable gain on the running play. Edmonds has had a very good camp and has looked like Miami's leading back, which we've been saying for a while around here. That's RB1. Alec Ingold himself, in a quote last week, said that this is how the running back room looks. Sony Michel is the Super Bowl champ guy. Raheem Moser is the dad of the room. And Chase Edmonds is the bell cow. That's literally what he said. Chase Edmonds is the bell cow. And that's, we're hearing more of that. What about color real quick? Sam McGuavin on that rushing thing. I heard he popped up a little bit.
Yeah. And on that Gaskin, when it was talking about him popping Gaskin, I think that was Gaskin's first run of the day, as a matter of fact. And there was one good run from Gaskin where he kind of got to the outside and kind of beat everybody out, how he kind of holds the football on the wrong side and kind of tries to squeeze around people, and he is fast enough to do it.
I don't know how he does it. I know exactly what you're talking about. What about that big play you were talking about from Edmonds where he had a big play? That was a hole from Liam Eichenberg and Connor Williams. Did you see? I'm guessing you saw you saw the O-line taking care of business to create the hole for Edmonds.
Yeah, there was one play that was a complete gash, dude. And given some hard running in the secondary, probably could have been taken to the house in a live game. You know what I mean? Because he had nobody left but the free safety. And he kind of tapped him, but it was like he didn't have to. They kind of quit the play, at that point. You know what I mean? But there was that one. And the thing about Edmonds I'm noticing is even when he's wrapped up, his legs, he's high stepping. Like he is a really, really hard runner, man, and he doesn't quit. You know what I mean? Like his legs coming up are just high stepping all the way through the hole, through contact. You know what I mean? Which is it's hard to put the guy down in that respect.
Color, would you say seeing Chase Edmonds in person has impressed you more than what you saw on paper before?
Yes, and I can say that I can understand why people's eye test would put him in such more high regard than Gaskin. I can understand it.
As far as I don't know, body type, size, whatever you want to say, when you look at Gaskin versus Edmonds, what are we looking at? How are they similar, or is
I think Edmonds has way longer legs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He seems to be just more top heavy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Shoulder heavy. You know, but still fast twitch. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Looks like a really, really strong runner in person, bro.
That's good to hear, man. That makes me excited. And you know what? That was McDaniel's. That was one of his first picks. He's like, "Give me that guy. I want him in my system."
Yeah,
Tua
I mean,
Tagovailoa delivered another long pass to rookie
oh,
Ikuzama for the
one
second in
other.
the row.
Well, I'm sorry. One
In a
other
row.
thing I did in the red zone drills too. I did throw a pretty good, decent in slant to Waddle for a touchdown.
Who?
To
Yeah, that was against Xavier Howard too. That end
Oh,
slant.
really? Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
So look for
that's
them
where
highlights.
yeah. So Eric Ikuzama had a big pass to him for like that traveled like 40 plus yards. And Ikuzama took it to the end zone. He beat rookie corner Cater Kahu was beaten
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
play.
yep, yep. That was I looked it up. I looked up the number. That was easy.
Yeah, man, that's good to hear. Easy E coming alive like that, and Tua finding him on plays. I know it wasn't against top flight guys, but so what?
He also had another one later in the day in the last session. That him and the corner were arguing about whether he got his feet down. They were just joshing each other, you know what I mean? But he made a nice catch towards the sideline and kind of got thrown on the ground, you know.
Yeah, a little bit of remember we're playing football, bro. We're
Right,
teammates, but
right.
it's still football.
There was a couple good smacks here and there. I mean, for the most part, people they weren't going fully to the ground. You know what I mean? It's not like they were fully tackling all the way to the ground. But everybody had their leg pads on, except like the veterans who just don't care. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there was a couple good smacks here and there. Guys running backs hitting the hole or running right into somebody. Who else was it? One of the tight ends, I think, maybe not 81. I saw getting smacked around a couple times, but he was holding on to the ball.
That's Durham
and
Smythe,
a lot of traffic.
That's Durham Smythe, right?
I thought he was 85, but or not. Oh, no, he's not 85. Craycraft's 85.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is he 81?
So Mr. Polk asks about Lynn Bowden. I know he was doing some punt drills and kickoff drills. Lynn Bowden, what's his deal?
Was he wearing a red shirt today?
I don't know. I think the red shirt. I don't know.
Because I thought I saw Edmonds back there taking punts too, or taking kickoffs tickoffs too.
Edmonds was doing punts and kickoffs too.
Well, they didn't do any punt drills, special teams, but they did do kickoff and kickoff return team drills. And there was there was a couple guys back there like that. One of them was 31, I want to say.
That's
31.
31 is Mozart.
Okay. I thought it was 31 that I saw back there taking a couple.
Ali, isn't number 31 Raheem Mozart?
I'm looking it up. Just bear with me a moment.
I wonder if they're going to have Raheem Mozart maybe take some kickoffs, huh?
And the light action you were talking about Sony Michel, I think was early on. He took like one or two runs because he is massive compared to the other guys. If I'm right about it being Sony Michel.
Really, Sony Michel is just a freaking boulder out there, huh?
If it was him, there was one running back that was night and day larger than most of the other guys.
Mostert's number with 49ers was 31. I'm trying to see if it is with the Dolphins.
It is. That's him.
Okay, 31 then, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It says here in the notes, notable that Thompson had staked a strong claim in the practice squad job early in camp. His accuracy's been pretty good, including a 20-yarder to Hill and intermediate throws to Cedric Wilson and Eric Ikuzama on Tuesday. And he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Tagovailoa, another pretty good day for him, aside from a near interception. play to Brandon Jones that had that
Oh,
drop.
that's who it was. It was Brandon Jones. That's right. And Brandon went right to the sideline and started doing push-ups.
Yeah. He also overthrew Wilson on a sideline throw on one of the plays. I heard about that as well. Xavier Howard had tight coverage, but otherwise it was on target, completing 10 of 25 throws, and the deeper one to Eric Ikuzama. So he only made 10 of 25, but you know what? I don't want to begrudge him at all for what misses he had. This is practice. This is the time to be trying to
Oh, it's
defend
also first
timing.
full contact with our offensive line. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
pads,
they weren't,
everything.
and I tell you, early on, the guys were in our backfield early on, like, you know, but by the time they ran the last scrimmage, you know, where I suppose that was 11 on 11 because it was like set up like a main stage. There wasn't anything else going on, you know, training wise, you know, and only like first team was on the field for that last session. Like Tua got to run a drive pretty much down the field. You know, some of them didn't, you know, like I said, it wasn't like he ran it down the field, you know, because obviously they don't have all day, you know. So if it's a case where, you know, it was a good pass, good attempt at the catch, but well defended, they'd advance the ball to that point. You know what I mean? And then they kind of just ran down and ran a whole bunch of plays from like the 5 to 10 yard line. And then they called it quits. But the red zone stuff looked really good. I mean, Tua threw one in the end zone to Waddle on a short slant. You had the wide receiver screen that Tyreek got the corner on. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if we ran one in or not, but we very well could have, as hard as Chase was running. You know, I mean, it was, you know,
Well,
I don't
you know,
want it almost seems like a down day for the defensive line unless the offense is just, you know,
well, it's funny you
picking it
say
up.
that because literally the big deal was that the defensive line looked so good early on, but as the game moved on, the offense started making adjustments and really took it to the D line.
And it was hotter than absolute hell out there today too, man. I mean, it, you know, there's a lot to do. It was one of those days, bro.
It's always those days right now, bro. What
I
you
know.
mean? Every day's that day. Suck the life right out of you. It's so hot out there.
But you know, it reminded me being out there in the heat, like why they quit so quick. Like,
why they don't overdo it.
Yeah, and you see them go through their cycles every, you know, 6 or 8 minutes or whatever, and it's like, God, all they did was that for like a couple minutes, and then they move on to something else, and they do that for a couple minutes. It's like, is that really training? And then I'm thinking,
well, they're probably doing a bunch of stuff
right
inside too.
But then I put myself back to my own practices back in high school, and it's like, yeah, you do that damn drill 3 times, and your ass is ready to go in the locker room, man.
Yeah, what are you talking about? How long do I want to stretch for? You know.
I just had to get myself back in that mentality, and it was like, okay, yeah, it just happens quicker
think of it like
than you remember because
you're a
you
fan
were doing
watching it and you're enjoying all of it, but then like towards the end, you're like, all right, is this shit over? Because it's hot as hell out here. You know what I'm saying?
And again, I mean, it was they started at about 10 o'clock, ended at about 12:30 or so. But I mean, did we ever practice more than 2-3 hours in high school? No, but it seemed like an eternity because you're out there doing it in that heat. You know what I mean?
10 minutes is forever if you're doing jumping jacks the whole time. 10 minutes
Tell
is
me
an
about
eternity if you're doing push-ups and jumping jacks and sprints. Go do push-ups, jumping jacks and sprints. Do it for 5 minutes. Tell me that ain't an eternity, bro.
And all that gear.
Well, all right, Color. I'm gonna let
one
you go.
Other thing. One other thing I want a little neat tidbit. Morstead was during their last scrimmage session. Morstead was just walking the sideline all the way around the field over and over again. He was just walking. I guess that's his training, you know what I mean, during that time. But he was wearing some Jordans, bro. He wasn't wearing his kicking shoes. He was just walking in some high top Jordans, like
walking in some Jordans around
like
here,
old,
the field.
like old school ones. Like he bought, like he's wearing some collectibles or something. You know what I mean? And everybody, all the fans kind of enjoyed that. He just kept walking by and he's got his Jordans on.
Was he dancing and stuff? I seen Zach Sealer had the orange jersey on today.
Yep.
Music was going. Was the music all right?
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it was kind of a variety a little bit, some Beastie Boys,
Nice.
and then some country, and then some
Some
other hard toast, some For Whom the Bell Tolls from Metallica.
Cool. All right, so he had a little bit of everything then. Good for him.
Yep, it was pretty cool.
Well, Color, if you want to put your mic on, I'm going to pull up the press conference from Adam Gase. Look at me, Adam Gase. I'm going to pull up, man, imagine if we were in that mess right now with everything going on. Oh, wait, that's right. We were in a mess like that last time that guy was here. We're going to pull up Mike McDaniel, his press conference from earlier. Let me find out where he starts coming on. I don't want to hit all this dead air nonsense. Let's see. All right, let me go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah, don't forget to hit record. That would be a travesty. Huh?
Easy day today. You got somebody on that for you back there?
What, easy? What? There's a easy day?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Man, training camp. You lose sight of everything. Like national holidays, such as that.
So I realize I'm going to have to pay a little more when I wait in the room. First thing,
Questions about
If one part's about Yeezys, I'm
with Dieter, do we know if he'll be ready for the regular season or is it a long-term thing? And then my second question, one thing we don't yet know about you as a head coach, and we saw something last night that made me think of this. You're probably where Preston Williams tweeted, "Just want an opportunity," shaking my head. When a player who wants more chances in practice does something like that, do you say something to the player? Do you let it slide? Do you throw him more passes? Do you bake him a cake? What's your reaction in general when a guy does something like that?
Wait, so those are two separate questions, right?
So I'm going to pay more in the piggy bank when I.
All right, so can we go back to the first question? Okay, here. To best organize this efficiently, you have two questions. First question.
Michael Dieter, is he out long term or will he be ready?
No, don't see it as don't have concern right now with the information that we have about the regular season. So we'll just let the week play out and see where he's at the beginning of next week.
Michael Dieter got nicked up playing fireman or something with Christian Wilkins back a couple weeks ago, apparently.
Next question was.
What's your philosophy as a head coach? Do you say something to him and say this is not a good idea, or do you just let it slide? And does it affect how many passes you throw him?
So, okay, there are the most pressing needs of the football team. I don't necessarily see within social media. And you said, so I don't prioritize that necessarily. I do, however, prioritize prioritize opportunities for players to follow their dreams. So
Is that perturbed Mike McDaniel?
Wes Welker and I strongly connect on from our journeys, which were the exact
Sounds
same.
like
the
it.
Same athlete, by the way.
I would agree.
Is that we hold with a lot of esteem and responsibility, preparing people and giving them opportunities, and it's also the really look at it to the players too, that they understand that every time they're on the field, the way we do things, it's a tremendous opportunity for them as well as their teammates who they're depending on to execute and operate at a high standard. So I wouldn't, people care, people want to do good. So I get that, and I don't really hold much weight to all of that.
Mike, there was a lot of talk around the league this weekend about guardian caps and the usefulness, and if they're so important, why we only wear them for a couple of weeks, or are they leading to bad habits? Do you have any stance on it? I mean, what do you see from the usage of them? Are guys using them the right way? Do you see the value? I guess just from the first.
Once things become mandate, I try not to let things occupy my brain space, whether or not it's the value of it. It makes sense. It makes sense to me in preparation why it became a mandate. So I don't really operate outside of that debate, just because that's kind of a wasted brain space for me and for the players. So it's rule. You're going to wear them, and so I don't really have a feeling pro or against because of that.
How is Izukama doing?
What was that?
Eric Izukama. How's he doing?
I totally put him on the spot there. What was that? Wanted to get him to say it again. Guy's a genius. Look at him. He's pleased with himself, making fun of him. That was awesome.
The rookie, the strife of a rookie in the National Football League is so often underestimated and understated. And you have to realize that the grown men who have been playing NFL seasons for an extended period of time that have been making a living for their family, and doing so within the confines of a certain scheme, that is a lot of ground to make up when you enter the league as a rookie. So I'll start by saying all players, really, by and large, the biggest thing is getting better all the time. You're not staying stagnant, and it's not if but when you make mistakes, how do you correct them? Rookies especially, I try not to get ahead of myself and look at, well, he can do X, Y, or Z in a month when the regular season starts. It's specifically, and it's no more truer than for rookies, are they improving on things? Are they making the same mistake twice? That's one exciting thing about Eric, is that he is learning a completely new language at a different speed and tempo. It's the rookie trials are hilarious. I don't know why it's not talked about more, but like the speed of the game, the pass rush, you don't have that much time to for the quarterback doesn't have that much time to operate in the NFL game. And 9 times out of 10, every rookie receiver that starts minicamp every single year lines up like 4 yards off the ball when they're off the ball. And it's like, that shows you how far they have to come. And so it is a tough thing to accomplish, to be able to in a short period of time. But I've been very encouraged with how he's handled himself and corrected things, and the mistakes are changing. They're not the same ones, and that's what you want. So I'm happy about that.
How much does that give you? How much does that give you a real sense of the running games with more physical blocking?
So pads is obviously a big deal. It's a big part of football. But one thing that I stressed to the team this offseason, that I think is I truly believe, is that if you practice the right way without pads, it's less significant when they come on. That doesn't mean they're not
That's something I
significant.
said.
It
Twisted.
minimizes how significant it is. So, and I'm very happy with how we practice without pads, because we deliberately approach it as though we would have it. You put yourself in position to either block or tackle. Obviously, it's not the same, and you can't deliver on the force as much. So it is a very valuable valuable thing. I would have been disappointed if I would have really been eager for the pads to come on. Like, wow, we really can get a look at this. I would have been disappointed. I'm not. The players have really owned how they've practiced without pads, so I'm excited. But it's just another step in the process. There are some valuable, run game trench stuff that comes from the backs being able to brace contact. That's super valuable. But and so yes, it does help evaluate the run game from blocking and stuff. I don't expect it to change drastically because of the way that we've approached and attack technique on both sides of the ball.
Mike, yesterday when we were talking with Raekwon Davis, he was mentioning how much.
So just so everyone who doesn't know, this was before practice apparently, because the reporters would be dumping on him about all the news about the team. You know what I'm saying?
Better he feels having slimmed down, his quickness and so forth. I'm wondering what you see from him in that regard. And also, last week, Austin Jackson was saying some of the same things. Were there many players who were asked to slim down for this training camp?
It was kind of a concerted effort by the coaching staff, both starting with Frank Smith and Josh Boyer, but trickling down to each and every position coach and their assistants. That the idea is to show them a vision of what we want to be, and on both of those, on both sides of the ball, in both retrospects, it behooves a player to be at their maximum athleticism, their maximum explosion, their maximum speed with flexibility, all of those things. So we did a good job in the off season, kind of really painting that picture for them. And it's to the players' credit that they've said, you know what, I'm all into this. I'm all in for this. My career does mean something to me, and I don't want to have regrets after my career saying, what if I was X, Y, or Z? So that's the thing, that it wasn't like a straight mandate. You have to go in, be this, that, or whatever. It was kind of a play on, my firm belief that players, just like coaches, just like people, they want to be their best. So if you show them without a shadow of a doubt that X gets them to that spot, if they're the right type of people that you want to have on the team, they will respond and get to that point that best fits their physical prowess.
Just the look on his face says everything that he's thought about. Summed up shortly is that you set a high standard, you put the onus on them, you make it known that, hey, we expect the best out of you with your diet and everything like that to operate at your best. It behooves them, as for you, the professional, because you're going to make the money, and get the snaps if you do what's best for you. He's worded it a lot longer without trying to make anyone feel singled out. And that's kind of the dance you have to play all the time, is how you gotta be singled out. Don't want to single anyone out.
Yep.
So Kahari, who I know was there too, and back what Color was saying, not seeing Phillips, he said, don't be surprised if Phillips has a hammy. He was chasing on Waddle on that reverse today, and that's when he came out. So breaking news, as you guys know, from the guys at the Hizzle, Phillips hopefully is fine, but probably just a little bit of preventative measures. Might even sit out of practice tomorrow, and if he does or is limited in practice tomorrow, you'll know it's because Kahari and Color and guys there seeing that he wasn't there at the end of practice and went in early. So I hope it's not too serious, Kahari. I think he's a big boy and tough. And, even if it's a little bit, you want him to just say, hey, we don't need you doing this. I'd rather you do it on game time. All right, let's finish this up.
Again, the team announced the way it was going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the undefeated 1972 team, and obviously Larry Zonko spoke to you guys. I was just curious, as you kind of were growing up in the game, just what did you know about the 1972 team, and now that you're a member of the organization,
thanks, Mr. Paul.
About that team?
Well, I remember vividly 11 years before I was in the womb. And, no, I mean, who doesn't? You're talking every single year of my life, like clockwork. Chris Berman, ESPN, graphics with, they evolved over time, but the champagne bottles pop. It's kind of in the narrative because of that. And that's what's unique about that team is that it carries annual credence when everyone fails to duplicate what they did. So I think it also goes to show that particular team. One thing that I think is something that each and every player in the league and every team specific, but most importantly, this team understands is what one year and one team can do, the ramifications that can have for the rest of your life. That's the thing that's really overwhelming to me is these people are bonded forever. I was talking to Larry about some of his nonverbal communication with some of the people that he played with on that team, how that's still present today. It's like the wife look, like, or whatever, you can talk without talking. And how powerful and cool is that to ever be present in the moment in your life, knowing that it's going to have residuals for the rest of it. So I think that's, it's something that we should be.
He's mentioning nonverbal communication as far as a growth through a team and equating that to what hopefully this is the building blocks to it. He's hard to keep up with because he's a smart guy and you can hear what he's saying, but it's all like, I don't know, it's in depth. Smart dude, but
proud of as a team that you understand, and proud to be coaching this team when we're celebrating it, and to be able to be connected with them in one way, shape, or form is a privilege to us that we do not take lightly.
I'm not to insinuate that you were alive during that time, by the way. Just making sure.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I've been aging all right, but
along those lines, did you ever cross paths with Coach Shula?
I did not, unfortunately, no. Obviously, I wish I would have. That would have been an honor. But I was really, there's a lot of years that I was a Broncos fan. I was like, wow, they're better than us. There was a lot of years that was occurring, but no, I unfortunately did not.
Tyreek said earlier that him and Jalen are the fastest duo in the NFL. First of all, obviously that's seen as a luxury, having that much speed. But can you talk? Is there any difficulties in scheming that up, having that much speed on the field?
It's kind of like the difficulties the guy who has 3 yachts has deciding which yacht to pick. Like, no, it's not. There's no difficulties with that.
That's a good problem to have.
It's very desirable, very fortunate. And I think competitive players that are willing to go out and say, yeah, we're the fastest in the league. Those are guys that are competitive, that are willing and want to prove it. And regardless of skill set, you have players like that on your team, you feel pretty good about it. So I wouldn't. There's no. You don't need to shed a tear for our problems with our speed decisions, but to me, I think they talk about they talk about their speed a lot, which is cool, but they're also fast football players that block, that
Work hard,
do the things that teammates need to do when they're called upon to be a fast electric decoy. They do that. I think that they're not fast guys; they're fast football players, and that's the coolest part about them, and why we don't really have issues.
Tyreek,
what's that?
Do you agree that they're the fastest duo in NFL history?
I agree that I'm excited to see them prove one way or the other that being the case.
I like
definitely
that.
Not going to say
that's a good answer.
They're not, but I'm definitely not going to say they are either. That's for them to prove.
Nice.
Which they know and they're excited about, but that's for them to prove on Sunday.
Smart, savvy move right there. Put it on them. Go out there and show them you're the fastest. Now no one can say a damn thing. Can't argue nothing. We are the fastest and the most successful at being the fastest. And let's soak this all in, because the next time you'll see Mike McDaniel, it'll be all these questions with, what do you think of the tampering? What do you? The same thing with the players and everything. This is not. Man, it sucks. This sucks. And it is what it is. Hopefully there's an appeal coming with that or something to that effect. I doubt it. But damn, bro. I mean, all the shit talk I want to do on Bills fans and Patriots fans and Jets fans, I get to have this thrown in my face now. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, everybody. Way to have my back, Dolphins organization.
That is.
Reaction to his mom.
Tyreek's? What was my reaction? Or my reaction was they did exactly what I told them to do. It was that's not the first time, nor will be the last that they'll connect like that. I was pumped because the exciting part to me.
Hit the like button, guys, please. Keep forgetting to tell everybody. I hadn't done the rundown. It's been almost 2 hours. I'll do the rundown here in a minute, but hit the like button, everybody.
Read the defense, and that's what he felt, and he did it with conviction. If you guys watch it, he did it in one hitch timing, which is kind of how we want the quarterback to do it. But the reaction was, what's the next play? Because, there's – if I think everyone would be disappointed if we were satisfied with that, but that's what we're supposed to do when it's there, and let's go execute the next play.
Me too.
What was the fastest time speed in training camp so far?
Raheem Moser.
It is. It was funny because every time that
I'm gonna let him answer this, but before I do, yeah, Ace, I know. And if you guys remember, we went viral. The Fins tailgate, Color and I went viral talking smack against Buffalo, and we had a whole bit where we essentially were just calling out Buffalo. Enough of us fighting amongst ourselves. We're gonna go at them. They think they're hot shit, and we're gonna let them know that they're not. And they clipped a part where we were being our most outrageous, saying that they could be third in the division. And we said, look, they're one injury away from their quarterback from slipping third in the division. And the reason we were saying it in this perspective at the time is that they're looking through the Dolphins. They're looking at those games like they have the last few years and saying win-win. And I'm saying that's not. And come the last quarter of the season, you're going to be looking at probably splitting a game with us and looking at us counting our wins and losses to make sure that they can win the AFC East because we're coming after them. That's what we said. Very hyperbolic, very, very a lot, but they clipped that and they put it on Twitter and it blew up. Well, now that this just came out about the organization getting whammied right now, they've now put it on their YouTube. Buffalo Fanatics, Buffalo Bill Fanatics put it on their YouTube, and they tagged me in it. Just I listen, I'm there for the banter back and forth, but here it is.
Mhm.
Of course, they're gonna pile on right now. My team just got a first-round pick taken away from them. Like as soon as I'm feeling comfortable enough with things around to go after the Bills, and I will still go after them hardcore all season until otherwise. Damn it, Johnny. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn it, swift kick right in the nuts on this, taking my first-round pick away, bro. Like, not cool at all. Not cool.
Yeah, I mean, in reality of it, bro. I mean, if you really think about it, they're gonna hang on to whatever they can put their hat on to
To
throw in
act
our
like
faces.
yeah, I know.
Correct.
And act like they're high and mighty with themselves and stuff like that.
It still doesn't affect what's going to happen this season. I mean,
No, it doesn't.
even
I
us getting
agree.
whammy right now, I don't see it really affecting the team itself and what they're going to do on the field.
Listen, I agree with you and all that stuff, and I still think we're gonna, if not win the division, we're splitting with the Bills, and we'll see your asses in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? That's how we're gonna settle that in the playoffs one way or another. But they ain't walking through us, and I don't think, again, I don't take them lightly, but they take us way too lightly, and that's the disrespect I was pointing out. I don't like it. Don't look through my Dolphins no more, bro. We've been keeping up in every way we can, just with a defense and no offense. That shit's gone. We got a real offense now. Real quick, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not. If you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, make sure you guys are coming over here and subscribing to the network, checking out all the great content we have here on the network. Tonk 7 TMI Tuesdays, live around 9, doing some co-hosting on there with them. And then we got color commentary on Thursdays. I'm sure you guys are going to catch color probably tomorrow, if not maybe tonight or something, as soon as he can, to give you all the video and pictures and rundown of everything that happened. Everything that happened today at practice. We also got Late Night XL with Ali on Saturdays coming at you. Can't wait to see what Ali's got in store for us this week. So much to talk about, Ali. It's just endless. And then TFTG El Capitan, doing it often and anytime I can, trying to put breaking news. I meant to do just a shorter show on this one, but we'll figure it out. And guys, make sure you're hitting the link in the description for Fanatics. Also, we're partnered with Backroom Collections. Both those links are in the description. You get 10% off your Backroom Collections with hashtag TFTG at offer code. It'll get you 10% off all your stuff. Also, guys, get yourself a hat, flag, shirt, other good stuff. Links are all in the description for all the good stuff we have here with the network, the program, the everything. All right, let's finish this video up.
Tyreek isn't the fastest guy on the practice field. I make a huge deal, with the team. I build it up like, Tyreek, congratulations, man. You've been working so hard. You got third. Like, we're all so happy for you. And it's
I like the way you think, Jimbo.
But I did it enough where it pushed him to Tyreek entered into the 23s, which is you don't really see that often in practice, and he all this speed talk is just making him go faster. So write what you will.
You talk a lot about how you see your job as, maximizing the dreams of everyone in the building. You're in the building too. I'm curious, what conditions do you feel help you to best maximize your dreams?
Honestly, I don't talk about it much, but the people that hired me, talking about the owner Steve Ross, Chris Greer, Brandon Shore, Tom Garfinkel, and this atmosphere with everyone in this building provided the perfect atmosphere for me to be who I was. It's what kind of they.
Oh man, I can hear that quote right there being used against him on his next interview, providing a perfect atmosphere for him and all this stuff. And then they're going to be like, Mr. Coach McDaniel, that perfect atmosphere you were talking about with the Dolphins. Did you know that atmosphere was tampering with other coaches and players behind it? You know what I'm saying, bro? Enjoy it, guys, because this is the last one. We're not going to hear about all this nonsense.
It was described to me that kind of needed. And, they knew when they were hiring me that they were hiring me and not some version copycat of somebody else. So I think this place, more so than I've ever felt really in my career, I feel most at home, most myself, and which is for anyone, that kind of speaks to the type of culture we're hoping to perpetuate, is that there's an attachment to that, and there's a feeling that you can be your best self and get the most out of you in those types of situations.
What's been the biggest adjustment for you personally, going from offensive coordinator to head coach?
I mean, there's been no adjustment. The biggest adjustment, it's, I'm very conscientious of the people that I don't get to have heavy discourse with on a day-to-day basis, but who still their days are affected by how I treat them. So as an offensive coordinator, I think you can get a little more cerebral and focused and introverted with conceptual things, football X's and O's. And as a head coach, I think it's very important that you don't lose yourself within yourself in that way, because somebody passes your office in the hallway and you are thinking about something, you just give them a little nod that's out of character of how you usually address them, and now you've just negatively impacted their day for the rest of it, which isn't, that's, to me, that's not me doing a good job. My job is to maximize, not to ever inhibit. So that is a change. I've witnessed it. I've been fortunate to see a lot of people do that at a high level and have been on the other end of it. So, but it is something that I have to be mindful of every day. Otherwise, I'll be mad at myself, and none of us want that.
Well, it looks like Coach will be doing a lot of that, smart, smooth talking, a lot of his, great way of thinking, doing a lot of damage control around here. I'm glad he's around. In a lot of ways, when we're looking at guys like Harbaugh and stuff like that, although I like them as options, with the owner out the building and representation out the building and a new coach coming in here, I can only imagine the shitstorm of political crap be going on behind the scenes, them trying to friggin' take all the power for themselves. At least this guy seems like he's going to be head on his shoulders. He's more worried about his players and them doing their job and him doing what he's there to do. Mm-hmm. So could you imagine if Harbaugh was the coach right now? Not that I didn't want him at the time, but if our owner's out in the building and all this is going, he'd be weaseling his way into some kind of something. Can't help it. There's a void here for power, and let's be real, that's just what it is.
God, yeah, this is definitely true.
We were on such a good freaking high these last couple of days. Me and you and Color were talking last night. We're like, man, there's so much good stuff coming. It's gonna be so great.
But here's something else. You mentioned it about this is before all the stuff came out, and they're gonna use that line against him. Mm-hmm. What you and I know, before they even announce everything to the media, I'm sure, which that document did state, they notified the Miami Dolphins and Stephen Ross.
Oh, I'm sure.
And that probably happened earlier in the day. and they may have actually notified him before this press conference, to be honest.
I'm sure he knew a little bit about it. I'm sure he's known something was coming for a little while
yeah,
now.
and I it almost sounded like, and I'm not trying to take anything away from his press conference skills or anything, but he had a decent answer about how they built an atmosphere that doesn't conflict of who he is and everything. They could use that in the sense that may have what happened prior, but that's not what's going on now.
No.
You know what I mean? I think it was a good answer, to be honest.
No, I think his answers were perfect, and he's smart. And what happened before isn't how it's happening now. And I think it also, again, with the punishment coming down, they probably know, which probably helped him get the job, because he seems like the type of guy that isn't going to be, behind the scenes, moving and shaking for power. He's going to do what he's here to do and wants to do that alone. But more on our first-time head coach's plate, more on our rookie quarterback, more questions for him to answer, more outside noise that's unnecessary, more of all this spotlight the Dolphins fans want from our team. We get plenty of it, but it ain't no spotlight we want. No crap we want to talk about. None of this taking away a first-round pick, taking away a third in 2024. This is bullshit. It's with all the other nonsense that goes around in here, and they talk about all the things that it looks like or could have been done, but the things we're being judged on to take that away, it's bullshit, bro. It really is. So
yeah, it's true.
I'm gonna go ahead and shut her down, Ali. Guys, if you're watching, make sure to hit the like button. You'll probably catch me or Ali with Tonk later. Maybe I'll, if Tonk doesn't make it, we'll work something out and get it on. Maybe open up a panel or something like that. I'm gonna get with Color and find out what he's got coming out. We'll be back, guys. Honestly, the piss is right out of me with the slap on the wrist with this, because this ain't no slap on the wrist. I feel like we just lost a hand in some ways. I don't like that we've done all this stuff, moving picks back, just keeping flexible. And you know what? This is kind of why I like Chris Grier a lot, because think of Chris Grier as a GM having to play damage control to your owner this whole time. If this was any other GM, this would be the nail in our coffin in some ways, where that if this team didn't work out this year, there'd be no future to pivot to anything else. And in some ways, they've kind of hindered that possibility. This sucks. So,
yeah, it does. I mean, I honestly think this, in a weird way, this could be a blessing in disguise, to be honest.
Well, you know what? Maybe you're right in the fact that they don't pivot, and this background trying to get a new quarterback and coach doesn't continue. Which I mean, look, this is kind of the MO. It's the same thing that happened with Tony Sperano. Knew he was being fired before the game and stuff like that. This type of nonsense.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is, like, if you're on board with the fact that you're concerned that they haven't addressed that offensive line in the sense of like the center and the right tackle position, maybe a move like this actually pushes them to do so. If they know that they don't have the draft capital.
No way, bro.
You don't think so?
No way. First of all, the offensive line, it just was in pads with this, and by all accounts have been pretty decent and will grow to be better as time goes on. And remember, our D line and everything. I think that you wait till 53-man roster cuts to get it. You do not take some of that capital, what capital you got left, to make moves in the future. You don't borrow against the future. You just can't. It really forces us in a situation that if they were going to pivot off the quarterback, Tua, if he fails, or double down on him and get something, it's going to be borrowing into our future. You don't borrow into the future when we still need questions answered now. And that's a forced issue at this point. Now and I don't like that. I don't like that all this goodwill and all this multiplicity and flexibility that our GM has given us is taken away because of the things the owner did. And again, Chris Grier maybe pushed that pick back when all this was going on in the back of his head, thinking if we ever get in trouble for this, at least we can offer him up something rather than them cripple this freaking team completely. So, yeah, guys, make sure you're hitting the like button on the way out. Leave some comments at the end of the video, please. We'll catch you guys next time. Fins up, everybody.
Fins up.